Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Obviously, went to Long McQuaid again. So this was a guitar that I ordered in to rent. This is the Epiphone Casino, left-handed version. Only comes in this color though. But if you are a righty, you can get it in this color, natural, and some other color. Can't remember. Anyways, check the video description below for the left-handed version. I'll see if I can pull the right-handed version up as well. Throw that link in too, so if you're a lefty or righty, either way. Now the price on this guitar is $889 Canadian at Long McQuaid. Biggest chain in all of Canada, of course, and that's where I do my shopping mainly. So anyways, I did rent this for now. I am very seriously impressed and very seriously thinking about possibly maybe buying it. I'll know for sure tomorrow if I decide to end up buying this or not. Either way, I've got it for a month on rental, so hey, what can we do? But we can definitely review this thing for you, give you a little demo, let you know what I think about it. I've seen this guitar a lot on YouTube, and I've been trying to search it out because I get information from a lot of channels saying, oh, it's a semi-hollow body. Epiphone even says it's a semi-hollow. Of course, they could have possibly screwed up on that when somebody typed in their stuff, because this is definitely not a semi-hollow. This is a full hollow body guitar. And you can tell the difference between a semi-hollow and a full hollow body, not just by the trapeze bridge, but center block. If there was a center block in this, two things. One, you would have adjustable height pickups, and number two, the biggest thing of a dead giveaway on a center block is the fact that it's a semi-hollow. The center block would not have this. It would actually have like the Gibson style setup. Hollow bodies will generally have this kind of a deal, or unless you got a Bigsby, but you would often see on a full hollow body. In this case, Epiphone went with this design format where they've used the screw bushings that pop onto the as inserts, okay, and then they just set the saddle on there and away you go, right? And the trapeze takes in account for holding the strings. Now on a hollow body, normally what you see, you would still see this kind of a bridge, more than likely in a lot of cases, or something a little different, something that actually looks like a bridge in a normal saddle. However, your bottom portion of your bridge is not glued in position, okay? It is actually just loose, and you line it up with the F-holes. And in the case of one that would have a actual saddle in it, as opposed to an adjustable saddle, so a stationary saddle, there could be an angle, of course, obviously involved, or a fully compensated saddle to make up for any angles they require for intonation. So this is definitely a full hollow body, because I have checked. I did the flashlight test. Nobody did this on YouTube. Even the guy saying that it's semi-hollow. It's like, stick a flashlight in there, buddy. That's not semi-hollow. I don't care what they say. That's fully hollow, because there's no block anywhere to be seen anywhere in this thing. It is 100% hollow body. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, we also have vintage style tuners. Really cool burst, by the way. Next black. Binding on the fretboard, binding on the body, top and bottom. Of course, no binding on the headstock at all, but who cares? Doesn't matter. The entire body is made out of, I believe, if I remember correctly, 5 layers of maple. And of course, mahogany neck. And it's a Playability, and I know I didn't pronounce it right, so don't get on me. Fretboard. So it's not rosewood, it's not ebony, it's a Playability, or however they pronounce it. Anyways, it's still a fretboard that you can oil because it is wood. But anyways, the nut is cut absolutely beautiful. Epiphone does a way better job cutting their nuts than Gibson does. I don't know what the deal is. You know, I paid $2,000 for my Gibson before the mods, and the nut's not cut as nice as this one. But all my Epiphones have never had nut issues with the way they were cut. But anyways, we have 2 volume, 2 tone, 3-way toggle switch. One of the channels I watch, I'll actually give him a little shout out, is In the Blues. Shane, he's really cool. He actually did a demo on this guitar. There was a few little things he didn't like about it, but there were some deal breakers, obviously. One of which, for him, he really was annoyed was the toggle switch was basically right up on the pickguard. Now, I think that was just something that was, somebody drilled the hole in the wrong spot, right? Because mine is much further away, and I'm okay actually with exactly where it's positioned. That's perfect. And of course the back jack input, I like where they put it, even though it's at the back here, which is nice. It's not anywhere more forward like that Epiphone Dot was that I rented. I didn't like it. It was definitely going to be an interference. This, great place for a top mount, and further to the rear. Awesome job, Epiphone, on that one. So anyways, as far as what you play for music generally on hollow bodies is jazz and blues. Okay, those are the two main genres. So if you're looking at distortion, these things will squeal because the pickups are not potted. Okay, so they're not wax dipped or sealed in any way, and they're not allowed to be with a hollow body. What do you think influences the sound of the guitar in the pickups is actually the body, the sound chamber, the resonance, all that is going to have a big influence on how these pickups are going to sound. But if they're wax potted, it's not going to feedback, a totally different sound, and there would be absolutely no real influence from the body to the pickup for sound. So very good kudos on the fact that they didn't do the wax potted pickup thing. So, and you can also tell wax from non-wax by holding it up to your face, turning up your amp a little bit higher and going, hello, hello. And if you hear yourself through the amp, you definitely do not have wax potted pickups, okay? And if you hear yourself a little tiny bit and they're supposed to be wax potted, they weren't done very well, okay? But generally, wax potted, you're not going to get your voice through there, okay? But on these, yeah, it doesn't take much volume, and yes, you can talk through here, and it will come through. So anyways, let's do a bit of playing for you guys, and then I'll tell you my full opinion on everything I think about this thing. So I'm going to start out on the clean channel on my Katana Mark II 100 watt 1x12 amp. So that was a bridge, so now both. Because the rear pickup is pretty low, it takes away a lot of that high end tone in your high strings, which I'm actually kind of okay with. I like it. Okay, so that is how we have our sound clean. And there's plenty of range too in the pots, which is really nice. The other thing I really like too is I don't even know what you call these things. Really, I should have looked them up first. But the little dial indicator bars, right, tells you where your volume is actually sitting at. And that's nice. And they actually got left-handed knobs on here. So we're at 10, we're at 10. If we want to go down to 4, we can go to 4, and it's like, cool, they're not reversed, because normally a lot of companies, when they make a left-handed guitar, they put on right-handed numbered directioned knobs, and that's kind of like annoying for us lefties. Now the strings that are on this are likely factory strings. The story I know about this is either it was purchased or rented, one of the two, but only for, I guess, less than a month. So they're likely the factory strings, okay? And I can pretty much tell by looking at them that, yeah, we need to change them. They're definitely getting a little on the tarnished side. But we'll see how that goes. Because if I do buy it, they're definitely getting new strings on either way. So, but yeah, so far that's clean. I like it. It's pretty cool. Nice sound. Let's turn on the Blues Driver effect pedal. Now I do have a touch of reverb on. I like reverb. Now another indication of hollow body versus semi-hollow. Hollow bodies have a very much acoustic sound and they kind of amplify a little louder. So this is nothing turned on. A semi-hollow would, or yes, a semi-hollow with the center block would be very, very quiet, like a regular solid body electric. So that's why there's no influence from a semi-hollow into the pickups or anything, just because of that center block being there. And like I said, they would be much quieter than this. So, as far as distortion, one of the complaints you'll hear a lot about this guitar is the feedback. But we're not going to go to distortion quite yet. We're going to try some overdrive. Getting a little bit of feedback there. About a hollow body too, compared to a semi-hollow, is they are very bassy, very boomy. Semi-hollows would not sound anything like this. So anyways, let's go to full distortion. Now I'm going to turn down the volume a little bit for this. Alright. So I'm a little close to the amp, but we're not feedbacking because I did turn the volume down a bit. And don't bark at me too much, okay? I am still working on scales. Scales are not my strong suit. I'm more of a strumming kind of guy, power chord, not so much on the scales. Now, the good question is, how low did our tuning stay? Now, granted, these are factory strings, so I'm not expecting much. G fell a little tiny bit. Just a hair. Everything stayed in, except for the G was just a little tiny tweak. That's pretty respectable. And I didn't even do any really severe hard bending like I would on my Les Paul. So, I like the sound and tones out of this thing. Now, granted, hollow body guitars are absolutely not designed for high gain, ever. Even if you're 50 feet from the amp, they are not designed for high gain. But nothing wrong with, keeping the volume a little bit lower and putting some gain on it. That's acceptable. But just don't get too close to your amp because, yeah, it's going to squeal. Overdrive, definitely. Blues effect pedal, definitely going to work. Probably even your tube screamer would work really well with this thing without any real issue, especially even at the higher volumes. But, any hollow body period, even on clean, if you're too close to the amp at high volumes, you're definitely going to get some feedback happen, and that is actually normal. Hollow bodies are a lot like an acoustic guitar because acoustic guitars are very prone to feedback when your volumes are too loud, unless you have like one of those hole covers that, anti-feedback, insertion jobbies. I actually have one that doubles as a humidifier, and they actually work really well for, kicking out about 90% of any feedback possibilities. But, semi-hollows are a lot like the acoustics because you do have sound that comes through the amp holes, and the body is influencing the sound of the pickups, in this case because they're also not wax-potted pickups. But overall, I do like the tones that come from these P90s. Really nice. And I've been wanting a guitar with P90s for a while, more likely a Les Paul Gold Top with P90s, but it's kind of like, don't have that kind of cash right now. Maybe I will, maybe I never will. I got something with P90s now, and that kind of makes me happy, but at the same time, I actually finally got a real hollow body. It is hard to find hollow bodies for left-handed, especially inexpensive, and to me, 890 bucks Canadian is actually a pretty darn good price for a full hollow body. Now, this is not as thick as what a Gretsch would be. Gretches are also about 1,200 bucks, right, for their full hollow body, and you're getting humbucker Filtertron pickups. You're not getting actual single coil action here, right? And they don't coil tap either or coil split. I do like the Gretches though. I just don't care for their color choices on the cheaper ones. And the only Gretsch I would ever buy, because it is technically, if you could have a dream guitar, it's mine, and that's the White Falcon with the gold hardware. But I don't have, like, what is it, $5,200 in tax, so $6,000, okay? So I really don't have that kind of money. I so wish I did though, because man, that guitar would be like my go-to everything almost. It's just a fantastic. I played the right-handed model and I was hooked. It's just, I don't know where to get that kind of money. but just under $1,000. That's a lot easier to find. You know, so that's pretty good. It'll have to do for the time being. But even with the thinner body design, this works really well for a hollow body. I'm really impressed with it. I do like the burst on it, the binding on the neck as well as on the body. The fretwork on this is actually done really extremely well. You know, it's got these slanted pearlized markers on it. I don't know what you call the shape. A YouTuber mentioned it and I can't remember the shape of what it is. The Playability fretboard, it's actually quite nice. I like it. You know, that's pretty cool. Gold knobs, kind of nice. Nice little touch there with a little bit of gold offset here with the chrome. Pickguard in white doesn't really matter to me. You know, it is a multi-layer pickguard, you know, which is good. It's not a cheap pickguard, you know, like a single layer piece of plastic. It's multi-layers, so that's nice, and it's white and black. What else can I say? I like the trapeze bridge. That's kind of neat. That's a neat little setup. It makes it real easy if you wanted to switch over to a Bigsby. It's everything's already set up ready to just go bolt and boom, and you're done. The vintage tuners are nice, even though I'm really not a fan of vintage tuners. I am kind of starting to really enjoy the ones on my 70s Strat. They're great. These vintage tuners, they are smooth running, and they have good friction to them, like, you know, good resistance. So pretty happy with that. You know, so if I do buy the guitar, they're definitely going to stay. You know, the only thing I would change about this guitar, and it's going to be changed if I buy it, is this saddle. This is the type of saddle that has the spring clip that is supposed to hold your saddles in place, right? Well, it doesn't do that great of a job on the G string, and the B string, it kind of moves a little bit sometimes. You know, and that is something that's a common problem with these kind of saddles, aka bridges, depending on which setup you want to talk about it as a bridge or a saddle. So that I don't really like. I have noticed some shifting in the G a couple times. I just pushed it back in, it was fine. I noticed the B as well a little bit, because I was hearing some buzzing sound, and it's like, these are open strings, they shouldn't be that kind of a noise. And I know what kind of noises to look for to know where it's coming from. And I know that noise because I had it in my Gretsch, because it had the same exact type of saddle. The difference is they went with actual Gibson diameter pins on their adjusters. So you can take any Gibson ABR bridge or saddle, whatever you want to call it, slap it right on there, and it should be a perfect fit because it's the same diameter pins. So that's actually quite bonus there. So that's nice. I like that. Good touch there. So yeah, that would definitely get changed. As far as the rest of it goes, I wouldn't change a darn thing on it. I think the rest of it is absolutely fantastic. Now, the playability wise, it plays nice. It's got a very low action. It's not super, like, it's not high, you know, and they are kind of like a medium jumbo fret on this thing. I would say as far as height goes, we're, I don't even know what to call that, maybe about 3.5 mil top, I guess. Let me grab my scale. Hey, actually I was wrong. We are at 2.25 mil on the low, and we're at 2 on the high side. So that's actually really good. The neck is virtually dead straight. There probably is about 10 thou clearance, maybe about 8 thou clearance. Still, it's really good. So pretty good. The double cutaway is nice. The only problem with the double cutaway on this is if you are the kind of player that wants to get right to the very end, you're going to struggle a little bit, okay? Unless you have a lot longer fingers than I do, and I got fairly large hands. But I can get up inwards to about here. So we're at the 12, so 13, 14, 15, 17, 18. I can get about to the 19th fret. So that's not too bad. And I usually don't play up quite this high. Very rare do I ever come up this high. So for me, it's not a bothersome thing. For some players, it would be that want to play up that high. But, you know, like I said, if you got longer fingers, it's not a problem. Yeah, even the fretwork on this, really super smooth. Very nice. No rough edges anywhere. I can squeeze really hard. I don't feel any edges that are burred or anything. It's nice and really smooth. So that's also bonus. So I do like it a lot. But yeah, the only real big complaint I have is actually just this saddle, aka bridge thingy. That bugs me. But otherwise, the pickups are nice. It's too bad that, you know, it doesn't have adjustable height in the pickups, because it would be nice to actually bring the neck pickup up just a little bit more. But you can shim it because it does screw on direct to the body. The only problem is I don't know how much of a gap that's going to show and how it would alter the sound, other than the obvious altering from raising it up, but extra airspace that's no longer sealed out, because that makes a difference in frequencies and movements of frequencies as you're playing in this kind of a guitar. So I don't know. I don't think I'd shim it though, but I do like it the way it sounds. It does sound, you know, really good. It's a nice sounding neck pickup. And it takes away all that big bite. But I mean, if you really wanted to get some bite going again in it, so I just turned up my mid about 330 and the treble to be about the same. Didn't really do much extra to the bridge, so that was alright. I usually like to leave my bass mids and trebles in the middle because that's kind of like my preferred tone. Has a really nice acoustic sound on the clean channel. It's just such a unique, cool sound. Even doing bar chords is simple. You don't have to push down hardly at all. Oh, messed up. Anyways, it's nice. I like it. But what do we do with this? Price, $889.99 Canadian. Not really overpriced in my opinion. I think it's actually a good price. As far as the bridgy saddly thing goes, we all have our opinions on them. Mine, I don't like it. I didn't like it on my Gretsch, so I put a Gibson one on in place, and now it's perfect. Perfect. It even exists. It's 5,000% better, okay? So this would be something I would definitely switch out if I buy it. That'd be the first thing, and actually the only thing I'd switch. I think I'd leave everything else the same because I kind of like it. Now, you know, one of those comments you might hear from me is, hey, let's Goldilocks this thing, right? Like, gold this, gold that. No, this is not what you do. You don't goldify something like this. This is nice the way it is. I like it. So what about brownie points? What do we got out of a 5-star rating for you guys? Well, you know it ain't getting 5 because it ain't perfect, that's for sure. And so it's got the automatic ding there. I personally do not like the saddle bridge, whatever you want to call it. The thingy with the little stupid wire that makes the things move. because it doesn't lock them right. That's definitely something that I'm going to knock down a little bit in pegs. So I'm going to actually put this thing at 4.5. It loses a little ding mark for not being perfect, because it never is. And the rest of it is just this part. I mean, it's not a major expense to replace this, so that's not a big deal. Some people have problems with them. Well, a lot of people do, but there are a lot of people who don't, right? And that's the thing. So sometimes they're just made better one day than the next, right? I don't know. But this is one that has the shifty issue with the G and sometimes on the B, just like my Gretsch did. So I switched it over to one that doesn't have the spring load clip. Now, the one nice thing I will say about the spring load clips that I do like, even though I don't like them, you pop the clip, and if you have to flip any of your saddles, it takes you like 20 minutes. Like by the time you loosen your strings, pull this off, pull the clip, flip all the saddles over that you need to flip because of an intonation issue, right? That's why we flip them. Now, these ones here, you can see that the flat section faces our bridge piece. The other three don't. Now, they should all go in one nominal direction, and I believe on my Gibson, yeah, all the flat spots, all the flat sides are facing down, just like the EAD. So the directions these sit, that's the way these other ones should sit too, to give you maximum allowability for intonation. Because there is maybe 2.5 turns left on the G string on this, probably about 4 on the B. I would definitely consider, on this case of this guitar, because this is almost maxed out on the E, I would probably consider actually flipping this one the opposite way to get a bit more space. But it's kind of hard to say. I don't know. I'm going to check the intonation on it anyways, because I wouldn't want to flip something if I didn't actually need to. I have needed to before on Epiphone guitars, so I'm going to see how on the intonation is, and if it's fine, I would just leave it alone. I mean, right now, this is a rental for now, so I can't touch it. But if I do buy this one, I'm going to be buying this exact same one that I'm renting right now, so it just won't leave the house. I'll just go, take my money, and just buy it, But I do feel really strong that we have a 97% chance this thing might just be staying here. Because I do like playing jazz and blues, and I do like playing some rock that will play on these things, so that's kind of cool. And the sound is nice, and standing up and playing is just great. It's like, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're not subscribed, please do so. We have more review stuff coming very soon. We have some other things we're doing as well. So definitely stay tuned to the channel. In order to do that, you need to hit that subscribe button and nail that bell for notifications to be turned on for all content coming up from my channel as I upload. And hey, just watch the things. And I have a variety-based channel, as you know, so hey, pick a subject. It's probably already on my channel, and if it's not, it may be one day. You never know. So, because I like variety in life. That's why I probably have so many guitars. See ya.